You're not immersing yourself. You have to immerse yourself in this life. How can we experience the small joys when we're not doing the small things of courtesy? You better get rid of them killjoys in your life. You have to know that you are worthy of that. Leave the things that make you happy, intimate to you and you alone. Did you not know about diaries as a kid? Friend, how are you doing? How are you feeling? What's going on in your life? What's popping? What's tea? Welcome back to another episode of the Hey Friends with Layla Elise podcast. Oh, and we are here for another episode. Before we even get started, if you are not subscribed to the YouTube channel, why are you not subscribed? Okay, you need to be subscribed so you know that every time when I post. So turn on that notification bell so that you never miss an episode. I know that I say new episodes are every Friday, but you never know. I could be feeling frisky and may want to post on Thursday or may post twice a week. So make sure to have that notification bell on YouTube, and make sure you're following the platform. Make sure you're following the podcast on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Again, that's the Hey Friends with Layla Elise podcast on Apple and Spotify. So that way, in case you're not able to watch on YouTube, you can still listen to the podcast and never miss an episode, okay? So now we got that out the way. For today's lip combo, I actually don't have anything special on. I just have on a NYX lip liner. I'm going to put it on the screen for y'all. I did have on some lip gloss before this, but I decided to take it off because number one, I didn't like it, but number two, I'm really trying to get into today's drink. The way this drink is looking at me right now, and the way I did take a sip because I thought I was recording, but I caught myself. So that's the lip combo today. I'll put the NYX lip liner in the description. It's one of my favorite lip liners. It's a really good brown to burgundy ratio for brown to dark skin girls. So make sure to check that out if you're interested. That will be in the description. Now, for today's drink, y'all, I put together something else. I mean, it's a classic, but it's still a little, it got my little touch to it. So today I decided to do a lemon drop, but I wanted to do like a mint lemon drop. So the ingredients for this one, all you'll need is your favorite vodka, lemons. I would say about 2 lemons on the safe side, your favorite like mango juice, and then some mint leaves and sugar for your rim. So that's pretty much all the ingredients. So super easy. I just used like 2.5 shots of Tito's vodka. I juiced 1.5 lemons, shook that up with just one shot of my mango tangerine juice, non-alcoholic, but I just wanted to use it to kind of offset the bitterness of the lemons. So basically put all your ingredients into your shaker first and then shake. And then I froze it just because I like my drinks to be extremely cold. I don't like no room temperature drink. But also super hot in here, so I like to freeze it just to make sure it'll stay cold the whole time I'm yapping my mouth. But that is the recipe for today's lemon drop. I did decide to put a sugar rim on it, and here we are. If you want to be real creative, you can save the lemons that you juice and freeze them, and they'll kind of serve as ice cubes instead of using ice that'll kind of water down the drink. You can just use lemons. So it'll really actually keep the lemon really potent in the drink. So cheers to episode 8. Doesn't she look yummy? Like, I know some people don't like mint. You can totally opt out on that. I love mint, and I don't mind like tasting it or swallowing it, but I'm just gonna spit it out so that way I don't have anything in my teeth. Now that we got that out the way, y'all, I wanted to talk about something today that's like kind of been on my mind, but not really, but I have been thinking about it a lot. And I asked for y'all's help on Instagram because, first of all, I was struggling to pick which topic I wanted to talk about today, just because I'm always thinking about stuff. I'm just always thinking about how I'm feeling, the experiences that I've dealt with, the experiences of others that I've been privy to. And I don't know, I just love observing. I love drawing conclusions. I love thought. You know what I mean? And recently I've been thinking a lot about just what happiness is and what happiness means. And I think over the July 10th weekend, happy belated July 10th to all my peeps. I hope y'all had a good time and enjoyed y'all get togethers and y'all barbecues and the fireworks and y'all drinks and everything. But it was a great time for me. Like, I really had a great time just being around safe company, like company that I can let my hair down, company that I don't have to look over my shoulder to make sure my purse is still next to me, like real company that I have been able to grow closer to and really become family with. Like, it was just a really good holiday weekend, like carefree, stress free. And I started thinking after we had came back from the club, which is ironic, after like having a ball. When I tell you a ball, like we had a ball all weekend. All weekend. We always do, but you know what I mean? We go extra hard for the holidays because like those are our memory sakes. But the next day after we had came back from the club, I was sitting in my car and just thinking about how happy I have and was feeling to, you know, like I'm saying, just to be in the company that I was. And I started getting emotional because I was just thinking about how I don't think I've ever felt that kind of happiness with friends. You know what I mean? Out with friends, out having a good time. Like, I've had fun with my friends, but I've never experienced that level of like really joy. You know what I mean? Because overwhelming happiness is joy, you know? And I was just feeling so overwhelmed with like love. And it wasn't even like anything for me. Like, it wasn't my birthday. I wasn't, you know, I didn't have anything to celebrate necessarily. We were just celebrating like being together. And I just felt myself getting emotional and thinking about how people can really have that effect on you, and how at one point there was a time in my life where I was not I didn't really have a lot of friends, to say the least, like friends that I can actually call on and hang out. Like, I had friends that I kept up with, but not necessarily my circle of friends. And I was just sitting in my car thinking about that and just kind of thinking at like, wow, you never know how close your people actually are to you, in the sense that you never know where you can find and make good relationships with people. And I just started getting a little emotional on that end. But I started really crying because a part of me was thinking about just the amount of happiness and joy that I was feeling if I will ever be able to experience something that can topple that, or to experience another level of happiness and joy that I've never experienced, but that's even better and even more full of life and love and all the things. And I just started getting emotional because it's hard to conceive the goodness that we are deserving of, or the goodness that we can experience. And the fact that you can experience all types of happiness in all kinds of ways. And the fact that something so simple with hanging out with my friends gave me that much joy, I started becoming overwhelmed with the fact that how joyful and happy would I feel that the big things that I have given my heart to, my time to, my passion and dedication towards, like how much even more joy I would be able to experience on the other side of, you know, those bigger things and not just the small things. And I don't know if I'm really articulating that well, but it really just got me to thinking about how we become fearful or scared of when things are basically going too well, right? Like that thing of things are going too good. I feel like the ball's finna drop, right? And I used to kind of have that mentality, not really, because personally, I expect good for myself and good things to come to me and to happen to me and for me to experience. But it's another thing to actually believe that you deserve it, and another thing to believe it when it's in front of your face and claim it at that. And that's something that I have to constantly push myself to do when I am feeling happy and joyful, that I have to pursue that, and to pursue that from a place of just a place of thanksgiving. Like, I'm thankful to experience a happiness like this, and therefore I need to be as present as I can to savor the moment, and to not savor the moment of joy and happiness also from a place of scarcity. Like, let me hold on to this, this great time, because I don't know when I'll ever experience something like this again. And I had to catch myself when I was like sitting in my car thinking about that, because I'm like, Layla, like, you are right where you need to be, and the joy and the happiness that you are feeling is what your soul needs at the moment, clearly, because you're crying. So sit in it, right? And I did, profess a prayer in that I will continue to experience and topple the happiness and joy that I have felt in my life, and continue to allow that surprise to be welcomed in my life, and for the universe and for God to, in my company, my communities, to surprise me with that level of joy and happiness that, again, will continue to fuel me in my soul. And I really think that it comes down to a couple things of why we start to retreat or feel uncomfortable when things start to get too joyous. Of course, I've already mentioned just the idea that we think, we deal with that scarcity mindset as Americans, but there's another part to that in self-worth, right? And self-worthiness, like your definition of that, or definitions of that, will definitely play a role into how you think you are deserving of joy and happiness, because that scarcity mindset will really haunt you and tell you that you have already experienced good, and that the good you will experience will not measure. And scarcity tells you that when you are experiencing that level of joy and happiness, it's like the scarcity mindset in us tells us that we don't have long, right? Like, this only gonna last for a little bit. So you might as well, enjoy your little two-step on, on this pavement. But when you get in that car and go back home, it's gonna be some, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, we know that life is gonna life. We know that this country is always gonna be in some. We know that there are gonna be things we cannot control, right? Like, we know all of these things, but there is still that part of us that wants things to go our way. There is that part of us that wants to feel good about ourselves and our lives. And scarcity is kind of like that devil's advocate, you know what I mean? Of wanting good, but feeling like there isn't enough to go around, or feeling like the good that you may experience is not the same goodness as someone else's joyous experience. You know what I'm saying? Like, just that scarcity of feeling like there isn't enough, there never will be enough, and the void that we feel will never be filled because of that. I also feel like another part to that is not just the scarcity mindset of being afraid that we will never experience a level of happiness and joy like that again in our livelihoods, but there's also a part of debunking our definitions of what happiness and joy is. And the reason why I'm saying that is because I also think we use the terms happy and joy interchangeably, when For me, I think that they are two different things. I think happiness is more surface, right? Like today I'm feeling happy. Like happy is identifiable. You can see it and you know someone is happy. But joy is much deeper in the sense that joy is spiritual. Joy is also overwhelming. And joy can be something that joy is also a culmination, right? Like it's a culmination of feelings, but memories and experiences and like frequencies, right? Like all of these things working at the same time, positively bringing us happiness, but so much happiness to the point that we are overwhelmed with joy. You know what I'm saying? That is different than being happy. And I think just to my point, like this weekend, I really felt a sense of like joy, like so overwhelmed of positive frequencies and good emotions and just presence that I couldn't conceive it. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't believe that I was experiencing it. And I know this can be like really deep of like, girl, like you just hanging out with your friends. You don't have to like, of course your friends want you to feel happy when they're with you. You know what I'm saying? But like the idea that your friends can actually usher in a spiritual experience like that for you to begin also redefining how joy and happiness can play a role in your life. And the fact also stands that I think we also still think that like joy is corny. Like when we look at people who are super happy, when we look at people that are joyous, right? Like they always have a smile on their face. They never have anything to complain about. Like we look at them like they're ditzy. Like, you know, they have no recollection or like awareness of like the world and what's going on. And we see them as like corny. Like, why are you always smiling? Why you always think everything is happy-go-lucky? I think we have to become more comfortable with experiencing other people's joy and happiness so that when we experience individually and within ourselves a sense of joy and happiness, that we also are not doing so from a socialized script of how that should look or what we should do. You know what I mean? Like when you're able to really sit back and observe how people experience and live their lives happily and joyously, you start to see all the different ways people enjoy life and happiness. Like there are some people who cry, right? That's why we say, you know, there are people that say tears of happiness, but the saying is these are tears of joy, right? So overwhelmed of happiness that I am filled with joy I cannot explain, I cannot conceive, and I just cry. You know what I'm saying? There are people who experience joy like that, right? And I think that's the stigma behind joy and happiness in our society, that it has to be something super emotional or like, you know what I'm saying? Just to my point of it being spiritual, but that's not the only way you have to experience joy. You know, it doesn't have to be this whole like ceremony. You know what I'm saying? You can experience small joys and small things that bring you happiness on a daily basis, right? Like just the idea of staying true to your routine, staying true to your word. Like when you're able to stay faithful without anyone telling you to do things or to be present, or you know what I mean? Like when you look up and realize just how much self-growth you have accomplished and how much you have come to learn about yourself and life around you. Like there is joy in that. There is joy in going on a solo date. You know, there is joy in taking a vacation. There's joy in taking a nap. Do you hear me? Like, we have to open up our minds to the ways and the methods, right, that we can get joy and we can get to a place of happiness that we also don't have to necessarily work for all the time. There are days where you do have to put in a little extra work to feel better about yourself and to get to that place of happiness. But there also comes a certain point where you should know, right? Like, I'm feeling off. I'm not feeling centered. How do I bring myself back to center, right? And how do I bring myself back to a place of happiness, of satisfaction? You have to also learn to be satisfied, I think, before you're able to really learn how to accept joy. And that's something that I struggle with. Like, it's not that I'm hard to please, but I am not, like, it's hard for me to say that I'm satisfied with something, or like I'm okay with the finished product of something, especially if I have been working on it or spending a lot of time on it or just thinking on it a lot. I just always feel like I could do better. I always feel like I could have did something different. I always, you know what I'm saying? And when you're never satisfied, it always feels like the goalpost of happiness and joy continues to move, no matter the progress you make, right? Like, no matter the lessons that you learned or have defied, you know, when you are also not comfortable giving yourself grace and self praise, it becomes difficult for you to also, in that scenario, to even conceive experiencing joy, because you can't even conceive like being okay with just exactly how you are, you know what I mean? And you have to really think about why you're not comfortable being happy, or why do you feel like you have to do work in order to get to happiness, or why do you feel like you have to go through pain before you can experience joy, or why do you feel like you are not capable of experiencing joy, right? And some of these things you will never know on your own. Like, you do need to visit a mental health professional when you start to notice these things about you are how you naturally relate certain emotions to yourself and to your behaviors and how you really think. And I know for me, like, I think another reason why I am not as open, should I say, to joy is I also deal with the uncomfortability with love, in the sense that when I experience a lot of love and attention, like when a lot of people are celebrating me, or when a lot of people are like in my grill, in that sense of like they want to talk and they want to, you know what I'm saying? And they want to share just the goodness in their life and how I am a part of that goodness with them. You know, just literally that love piece. I struggle with accepting that, because it's not that I don't feel that I am lovable or worthy of being loved, but I don't always believe that the way in which I show love, people are ready to receive, or people are expecting, you know? Like, a lot of people, I think, expect love to be shown in affection, and I'm not very affectionate. I am not a big hugger. I will hug out of like respect, and you know what I'm saying? Like, a person reaching for a hug for me, like, I'm not going to push them away, or I'm not going to be like, I'm not a hugger, you know, because I also think that's an excuse of avoiding intimacy. And I actually am a very intimate person. I'm just not very affectionate. Like, I have no problems being intimate in thought, being intimate in emotions, and sharing, you know, deep, and also like sharing in intimate moments that like could be uncomfortable, right? Like TMI is not really a thing for me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can be intimate, but affection, me actually showing somebody how much I love them, is a little difficult for me. And I'm still working through that, right? And I'm not really gonna like go too much into detail on that because, I don't really feel like, you know, we all have our things that we struggle with, right? And for me, that's showing affection and accepting affection. Like, when people want to hug me, like, I feel my chest tightening because I'm like, whoa, you know what I'm saying? Like, why are you trying to hug me right now? And it wasn't until I started going to therapy that I realized my hesitation to affection keeps me from being vulnerable a lot of times, and keeps me also from experiencing, to my point, or getting to that level of happiness surrounding me, because I am not allowing myself to be surrounded by love. And I think whether it's love, whether it's attention, whether it's self-worthiness, like I said, you have to be able to identify what it is that makes you uncomfortable. Because sometimes it's not joy within itself. Like, we all want to be happy. We all want to experience joy. And so to say that you don't want to experience that, I don't think is necessarily true for people that are scared, if you will, or fearful of experiencing joy. But it's sometimes just what I'm saying, those other things that is what you're really dealing with, and as a result are not experiencing joy in that area or just in general. I also feel that you have to be okay again with how joy looks like on you. Like, I'm gonna talk about me, okay? I know when I'm super joyful, I cry. And I just said I'm not really comfortable with affection. I'm also not really comfortable with like showing people that side of me, right? And that being like my tears and how in which I express my affection. So for me, I have learned and continue to learn how to embrace my emotionality, not just the tears, but the immense joy that I feel before even getting to the tears, right? Or sometimes I have to sit in the discomfort and literally work through in my head, why am I so uncomfortable right now? Like, if you don't figure this, like, we're not going nowhere till you figure it out. You know what I mean? Like, sitting with the present moment, I think, is so important to experiencing joy, because you also can't dictate how joy is going to show up at your door. Sometimes you think joy is going to come in mass. Like, there's going to be so many people that speak of your name and you're going to be famous and everybody just going to love you. You know what I mean? Like, that ain't always how it's going to happen. It's not. Sometimes joy is going to be that everywhere you go, there is someone that you're able to connect with, right? Like, how easy it is for people to gravitate towards you. You have to be present that this is the way that the universe wants to get my attention so that I am able to experience joy. And so therefore, let me be present with the people that I am meeting, right? There are some people who have that natural gravitation, right? Like, people are able to talk to them super easily, but they get annoyed by it. Like, they don't want to be approached. They don't want to be talked to. They don't want to connect, right? And sometimes, I'm not saying this is every case, but you never know. Like, sometimes those interactions can bring you a level of happiness and joy. But if you continue to shut yourself off from those openings, right, or those opportunities, you would never know. And you also would never know as to your aura of joy and happiness that you naturally exude. And you would miss out on that self-power that you can actualize, in your real life. And I think you just have to pay attention to the ways that ease flows in and out of your life. Like, for me, I know, like, I can be a person that people are easily gravitated towards, if I could say it that way, or like, I have been that person in the room that people just find easy to talk to. But I feel like where my ease of flow comes in is my ability to be in any kind of room. And that's why I have to immerse myself in experiences and immerse myself in opportunities and immerse myself in relationships, because I have that ease that no matter where I go, I can always find a safety net. I can always find a place of like comedic relief. Like I can always find a way. It's so cliche, but to be myself. And in order to do that, I have to constantly, literally put myself in environments and in relationship with people that I otherwise maybe would not have or wouldn't be my first choice, just so that I am able to experience that joy of, I can do this. You know what I'm saying? Like I can walk in a room and not know anyone and still exude self-power. Like, do you not know how much the kind of power, you know what I'm saying? The kind of joy that can bring to you, to know that you can go anywhere and find happiness. You know what I'm saying? And to not wait for happiness to come to you and however you think it's gonna come. And I really think that's what joy is. It's about taking control of how you want happiness to look and play out in your life. And you have to know that you are worthy of that. And you have to know that you deserve that. And you have to know that you are capable of exuding that, right? Because it's not always just about take. Sometimes you need to be of joy to somebody else. You know what I'm saying? Like, do you know how to be in joyous presence? Like when you're at the cookout, do you know how to get up and dance? I'm serious. You cannot be a person that doesn't want to be around people or doesn't want to be around fun or doesn't want to be around, you know what I'm saying, love, and expect that you're going to be happy in this life. How you at the 4th of July barbecue and you're not talking to nobody. You're not immersing yourself. You have to immerse yourself in this life. You have to take those chances that you're able to have and experience joy. You know what I'm saying? On the first try. Don't wait to have FOMO to then say you want to experience joy, right? You see all your other friends having a good time, able to love on each other, and now you feel a way about yourself, because that's where that self-insecurity comes into play. That's where that comparison comes into play. Like, why can't I do it like them? And I have to watch that for me, because there were sometimes I will look at my friends and I will look at them like they are so easily joyful. So easily joyful. Like, and I'm saying so easily joyful, like not in the sense that they're always happy, but they are people that are able to experience happiness and give it. They're able to cultivate it. They're able to foster it. They're able to host it. Host happiness, right? Host joy. Like, we're all able to take turns being the one to uplift. You know what I'm saying? Not always directly, right? We're not sitting in a corner. Well, I mean, sometimes it gets to that point, right, where you got to have that face-to-face conversation with your friend. But we not sitting in the corner, you know what I'm saying, giving each other self-joy speeches and, you know what I'm saying, telling each other all the time about how much you deserve to, you know what I mean? Like that corny that we think, you know, how we need to experience joy. Like, no. But when your friends are wanting to spend time with you, spend time. I hate people who hang out and you on the phone the whole time. And not just on the phone, you talking on the phone. You scrolling, you texting, you not listening. You know what I'm saying? We're supposed to be watching a movie and you on the phone the whole time. And you asking me what happened. Like, now I'm irritated. I want to go. You know? Or like, if you come over your friend's house and you see her in the kitchen, go in the kitchen with her or him. Don't just sit there while they're cooking. Now, I know there are those friends or those people that's like, get out my kitchen, right? But like, help them after. Or bring something. You know what I'm saying? How can we experience the small joys when we not doing the small things of courtesy? You going to somebody's house, why are you showing up empty-handed? I'm not saying you gotta bring a gift from Von Moore, but you can bring a bottle of sparkling from Trader Joe's, your favorite wine, or better yet, the open bottle that you got at home that you want to finish. Like, how you showing up to a barbecue or a cookout with a bad attitude? You know what I'm saying? Like, you cannot expect joy and happiness when you're not giving it, or when you're not showing yourself available to receive it. And sometimes it's not about showing the other person. It's about showing. It's law of attraction, right? You have to show the things that you are claiming, the person that you are claiming to be, that you are ready, and ready by joy and happiness, that you love the life that you live and are ready for more love, more happiness, more joy. I think that level of knowing is just so important, that you have to experience joy now so that the joy later is even bigger and even greater and more felt. And I'm gonna also say this, you also have to recognize your personality, right? Are you an introvert? Are you an extrovert? Are you someone who likes to experience things outside, right? Or do you like to hone in inside? Like, all of these things matter, because just as I said, we all experience and can experience joy in so many different ways. There are also different personalities that go about joy differently. For example, introverts go about joy internally. That could mean isolation. That could mean quiet time. That could mean solo time. The ways in which that you are able to please yourself and yourself alone. But then there are also people who are extroverts. The way in which that they receive joy and happiness is by going outward. They have to stay in communication with people. They have to go and experience new places and new environments. They have to switch up their routine. They have to stimulate their minds from a place of activity, if you will. Like, you have to know not just like what makes you happy, but you have to know how you have to know your happiest self. When I am my happiest self, what am I doing, right? When I am my happiest self, where am I at? When I am my happiest self, where do I go? When I am my happiest self, what do I eat? Like, you have to break that down, because there are some people, like, I have a friend of mine, she is her happiest self when she's in the gym, when she's eating right, when she has a healthy balance between outside life and home life, when she has a sense of financial, like, reliability. I'm not gonna say security, but reliability. Right? Like, that's what makes her happy. And if she's not attending to herself in those ways, her happiness starts to decline and decline and decline and decline till she's like, hey, wait a minute. I ain't been to the gym in 3 weeks. I ain't had my vegetable medley and my salmon meal prep. I've been going out too much, or I haven't been going out enough. You know, what's your ratios that you need to alter? For me, I'm most happy when I am balanced. And balance is such a tricky word, because you can never be 100% equal in every part of your life, or, you know what I'm saying, able to devote equal time, energy, and all the things. But at my happiest, I am physically well, physically attuned, right? Like, I'm stretching, I'm dancing, I'm walking, I am feeding well to my body, right? At my happiest, I am also emotionally well. So I am spending time journaling. I'm spending time in reflective thought. Like I'm spending time having those emotional and intimate conversations. When I am my happiest, I am spiritually well. I have a relationship with the Most High. I have the personal and spiritual language to articulate the spiritualized version of myself that I am wanting and expecting to see and actualize. Like I am spending time talking to the spiritual and being spiritual. You know what I'm saying? But like, you know what I mean? Just spirituality in totality. Like I am spending time there. I have to spend more time with you, girl. Whenever you get more time, like, you have to spend time there in the spiritual. At my happiest, I am also social and able to divvy up my energy with the people that I love and still yet myself. Like at my happiest, I am well balanced and just well. You know what I'm saying? I have to be creatively stimulated and working, or not working, but just passion projecting, whether it comes out or not, whether other people see it or not, like it doesn't matter. I'm doing it for expression and for creative wellness and for me to be happy. And you just have to know what that is for you, whether it's simple, whether it's big, right? But you also have to you have to plan your happiness so that you're able to look forward to something. Because ain't nobody gonna tell you when to take a break. Ain't nobody gonna tell you when to smile. Ain't nobody gonna tell you when to smell the roses. Like, I don't know how many times we have to hear these testimonies of people telling us that they wish they would have spent more time doing the things that brought them happiness. Why do you hear these things and then you just let it roll off your back? Implement that. When you hear celebrities and the people and the influencers that you follow talking about the things that they love, don't just watch them. Figure out a way that you can do it too. Figure out a way that you can find your outlet. You better learn how to color. Like what? I'm like, y'all think this is a game. This joy stuff is not a game. And I'm gonna also tell you this. When you find that joy, when you find that happiness, no matter how you get it, no matter what method you go by getting it, you better get rid of them killjoys in your life. Don't let them killjoys take up your joy and to take away your joy. Don't let no killjoy make you feel bad for the ways in which you go about being happy or how you express your happiness. Don't let nobody tell you corny for crying because you happy. Don't let nobody tell you that why are you always dancing? Why are you always think everything funny? If you are around people that always got literally something negative to say, them is killjoys and you need to depart. Do you understand? You don't have to be close with everybody. And that's another reason as to, I think, why we are always sometimes not able to experience the fullness of joy that we can really come to, because we are so worried about the people around us and just not being liberated ourselves and being liberated in how we live as ourselves. Like, I'm telling you, them killjoys will do it to you. And killjoys is a feminist term, and I'm using it on purpose because the ways in which you go about joy and happiness, especially when you are someone of color, especially when you are someone of marginalized group status, there will be people that may not understand your ways of happiness. If you are a black, dark-skinned woman as myself, right? Like, a white woman is not going to understand that, or to the level that you do, how much dance liberates your soul. Or if you are a gay or LGBTQIA, you know what I'm saying, individual, your way of joy and how you express your happiness is not going to be the same as a heterosexual person, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, the lexicon is not going to match. The experiences are not going to match. So You are going to experience people that don't experience the joy that you do. But it's important to know and to not shame. Don't, like, I'm serious about that. You got killjoys around you, get rid of them. Because before you know it, you will lose your imagination. You will lose your sense of self. You will lose the very things that bring you joy over whomever doesn't agree, or whomever thinks it's corny, or who, you know what I'm saying? Them killjoy, I'm telling you, whether they're your family, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your co-worker, your neighbor, the bitch at the grocery store. You know what I'm saying? You happy that you finally found this hummus dip you've been looking for, or this bottle you've been looking for, and the cashier just like staring at you. I'm happy I got my bottle. Like, I'm finna be even more irritating towards you, more joyful, more. Like, I'm so serious about that. I have learned that. And I know people who have learned that are serious about that. And that's, again, this also comes with boundary making. Certain joys and happies, I'm going to say, are not for other people to experience and are not for other people to know. That's another reason why I say, passion projects. Because I'm not, like, that's not for y'all to know. No shade. You'll know it when it's out. And guess what? When it's out, that's not the passion project. Hello. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you really love hiking, like really love it, it's okay to keep your routes to yourself. Don't let nobody tell you gatekeeping, or, you know what I'm saying? Tell them another hike that you heard about other people enjoy. But gatekeep, and yes, I'm saying gatekeep the things that you want to experience yourself and alone. Whether that's what you journal about. Don't be telling, bitch. That's my biggest thing. You sitting up here, why is you telling did you not know about diaries as a kid? You don't tell the people what's in your diary. Why is it's different when you're like, I was journaling and I was thinking about X, Y, and Z. That's completely different, because that's a conversation, right? But for you to be sharing your journaling ritual of like how you really become centered and intimate, like, you need to keep that to yourself. You know what I'm saying? If you a solo traveler and you like to go places by yourself, you need to keep that to yourself, because it's gonna be what I say, killjoys. It's gonna be people that come around you and why you traveling by yourself, and that's so dangerous, and you know what they got going on over there, and before you know it, you ain't been on a trip in 3 years. Leave the things that make you happy intimate to you and you alone, and for the people that have shared intimate things with you only. But don't be walking around here telling everybody the things, it's just some things need to be left for you, your spirit, and whom it is that you call above you. You really and literally have to create spaces for yourself to enjoy happiness. Literally to enjoy, inside of the joy, to immerse yourself in those things in those places, in those people, in those environments that allow you to experience that joy consistently. You know what I'm saying? So that you're able to become even the more comfortable with that level of joy and that level of happiness. And it also, the more in which you spend time there, in those times and those spaces and with those people that bring you joy and happiness, the more you are able to identify when you are off-centered and when you are not at your best self. You have to experience yourself at your best so that First off, that you can get there, and also so that you know when you are not at your best. And again, it's a checks and balances. It's a cyclical reflection of, I'm at my best self. How do I stay there? Okay, I'm falling off. How do I get back? What are the things that make me happy and joyous? How can I alter? You know what I'm saying? And it's a cycle that you should never run out of. You should never run out of joy. You should never run out of happiness, because you stop living. And again, it just goes back to that point of, how do you define how you want to live? Because there are some people out there that could really care less about happiness. They don't really care to be happy as long as they're stable. You know what I'm saying? If that's you, be stable. Okay? But you also need space for happiness in your life. We are so in survival mode right now. Like, why would you not want to experience the best of joy that you can? Why would you not? I have to, and every time I have those thoughts of when I'm really happy, and I think, damn, will I ever feel this kind of happiness again? Or will I be able to topple this happiness? I literally just have to say to myself in my spirit that the happiness that I am experiencing is exactly what my soul needs. The happiness that I am experiencing will never run dry. And the happiness that I will experience will be that of joy, that of fulfillment, that of surprise and love. I will not be scared of joy. I will not be scared of being loved. I'm deserving of good things. And I am a steward of these things. So when people come around me and they see me, they have nothing but to experience other than joy and happiness, other than love, other than peace. I just have to tell myself that, literally affirm myself that like, I'm going to look back even on this and say, I thought that was how good it was going to get. I thought that's how good it was going to get. That's how I want to look back on my joys. They only get better and better. And you have to believe that. Seriously. The small ones, even if they are small, you literally have to affirm yourself that the small, it's a snowball effect. And I'm just experiencing these small joys, these small things that bring me happiness, so much so to when the full day comes, I am overwhelmed with joy. And you also have to tell yourself, when you experience the big joys, that I have done nothing wrong, that folks are not wanting to see me fail or to see me rise just to fall, right? That like, no matter how big the positive moments are, I am worthy, I am loved, and I am capable of experiencing and exuding happiness. Period. And you gotta walk like that. You gotta walk like you bring joy, like you can and are happy, that you can be happy, that you are happy. Like, you have to walk literally with your head held high. And that's really just why I got emotional, because I really was just so happy that I am in a space where I love the company that I'm around. I don't have to try hard. You know what I'm saying? Like, they got my back. Woo! I'm been crying this whole episode. But you know what I mean? Like, I'm not scared of good company. You know what I mean? I just gotta tell myself that. I will continue to meet people. Like, this is literally what I told myself. I will continue to meet people that make me joyous. That even the friends that I have right now are not the friends in which that, you know what I'm saying? Like, the friends that I have right now are not the only people that I will become friends with. That I will continue to build meaningful and joyous relationships and with happy people. And will be able to bring them, you know what I'm saying? To the friends that I call home and be even more happy. Like, I'm just really sitting here thinking about that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you will really sit up here and think that the friends that you have are the friends you're going to have. Or the experiences that you have are going to be it. And it's so much more. It's so much more. It's so much more to be felt. So much more to do. So much more to see. So much more to experience. And I want to do so from a place of abundance. And from a place of deservingness. And from a place of affirmation. I don't want to do so from a place of scarcity and fear. Because if or when I do, how will I know that it's joy? You know? And I just want to be a person that is able to give that just as much as I'm able to receive it. And I don't know. This weekend just had me in my feels, y'all. Like, can it get better than this? It absolutely can. And that's really all I got to say for this topic. Thank y'all so much for listening. I love to know y'all thoughts about this episode. You know, your feelings about joy and happiness. Feel free to put that in the comments on YouTube or on Spotify. Again, if you are not subscribed on YouTube, make sure you're subscribed, as well as following the podcast on Apple and Spotify. Email podcast heyfriends@gmail.com with your questions, suggestions of topics, and even your suggestions for guests. I know I told y'all that I am working on guests real soon, and I am, but I don't know. I'm enjoying, like, honestly, just talking with y'all. Cheers to joy. Cheers to happiness. Cheers to getting to cheers to getting to a place of self-satisfaction, love, and worthiness, that we are capable of happiness, capable of experiencing joy, and able to exude such in the most powerful way possible. Cheers to joy. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye, friend.